Rachel and Stephen Kaplan, former professors of psychology at the University of Michigan, explore in several studies how the human experience their environments. They conclude that when we are exposed to a new environment, our brain drawn at a past experience and memories to help us process and understand our new surrounding. In particular, our minds try to match the new surrounding with memories of a place we have already been, helping us to interrupt the world around us and rendering our environment less daunting of intimidating. Essentially, uncovering something familiar in the unknown helps us feel more at home, therefore a tad better. Natural light and shadow can be used to trigger memories of our familiar space, of emphasize features, colors of textures that familiar to a person. With the results, they feel more comfortable and relaxed in the environments and space. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Abdul Hakim bin Zakaria and my metric number is 154248. Today I will talk about the lights model study and related back with my concept, gesture of intuitism. Ladies and gentlemen, my concept is a gesture of the intuitism, intuitive movement of the actions by deeply listening to the body act of the wisdom and allowing the creative energy to follow through it. By looking at the situations, the implementations of rhythm and repetition shape in interior design will impress the soul and movement. As a part of the artist, other than that, the design element will reflect the movement of the shadow in the interior space and it affects the design. This element of shape will create a movement when the visitors come into this interior space. This model that have been shown, they have the rhythm and the repetition and they have part of the movement. This model will play around with the difference of the height of the ceiling. This is because it's to create and make sure it will create a difference of the variety of the shadow. When study of the sun orientation, this is because this orientation would affect the difference of the shadow when it reflects into this interior space. It's very important when as an interior designs, it will create of the something meaningful to the visitors when they come in. Next, I will explain the shadow effects. This is because the shadow effect is very important. During the shadow from the north, it's very important where we can see the rhythm and repetitions, and that's the reasons why I using the difference of the ceiling height to create this shadow effects into this interior design. Other than that, shadow from the S is very important. This is because we can see the reflections of the shadow at the wall that can create something different and something different mood into this interior space. Shadow during morning, I give something a very deep elements. This is because I want to make something memorable when visitors come into my interior space. Next, as we can see in this area, they have a part of the shadow element of the movement where they can see the part of the movement of the wave. This is because I want to see a part of the gesture of the interior design into this space of the interior space and a create of the shadow in this interior space. Next, this interior space will create an element of the rhythm and the repetition. As you can see in this shadow element, they have a part of the rhythm and repetition. And other things, I want to create something space that have part of the art and center where they can show the impress of the element into this interior space and give us something memorable when visitors come. And we can see the shadow create the movement. Same goes to the gesture in our body. Last, this is my part of the presentation board that we can see based on how I create and elaborate is the shadow of this interior space. Last but not least, is something is very important from the master of the shadows, Tadao Ando. The balance of light and shadow is always difficult. Without shadow, one cannot fully appreciate the light. Thank you.